family is a great place to learn to build a house. Have you ever put a gingerbread house together and then it falls apart?
All the time.
Yes. Chances are you have.
Done, surely.
No, chances are you probably had a bad contractor. You didn't pull your permits, nor was it up to code.
That's right.
Yeah.
This man's going to make sure it's up to code.
That's
Dan
right.
Kohler is in our kitchen to show us how we're going to make this work.
That's right. So I'm sure all of you have had this nightmare, right? You've got kids around the kitchen, and you've baked your dough, and it's time to put this together. And Christina, like you said earlier, you put the roof on, and everything
It slides off.
Yeah.
It's so disheartening
It's
when
a
that happens.
disaster.
Yeah.
So to me, the structural engineering of a gingerbread house comes down to two things. First of all, we're going to talk about the bricks, whether you're using what I would call drywall slabs, or if you're actually using bricks to build your house. And then the cement. How are you keeping that house together? So a lot of times when we make our icing, we're looking at powdered sugar and water, right?
Right.
Or powdered sugar and a little milk. Well, that combination actually tends to be very runny, and it doesn't dry very quickly because that powdered sugar is a lot of cornstarch, so it absorbs the water and it doesn't let go of it very quickly.
You put glue in it?
Well, some people do, but we're going to get around that. What we're going to do is make what's called, this is sort of a fake royal icing. Royal icing is icing that has been made with egg whites. So instead of raw egg whites, I'm using this wonderful ingredient, which is called meringue powder or powdered egg white. It's dehydrated. So egg whites are about 90% water, and the other 10% are, anyone know? Protein.
Protein.
Yeah.
But can you use it? Can you use real egg whites? Can you?
If we're going to make traditional royal icing, you need to beat the egg whites until they're about soft, medium peaks, and then start sifting in sugar, and then what you get out.
Okay.
The meringue.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
sort of. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding this powdered egg white because that's going to add a lot of protein. And now you can start decorating, by the way. You have your own royal icing, you have your own gingerbread houses, and you've got candy there. Please get started. The great thing about royal icing is because of this protein content, it's actually going to dry very quickly, and it's going to hold very fast. Now, when you're adding water to make your icing, a little bit at a time, friends, because you don't want to overdo this. It can be as little as just a few tablespoons. And the minute it comes together, what I'm looking for is something that actually has the consistency of cement. You see that right there? It's going to dry quickly. You can put all these bricks on.
Gonna break our teeth when we eat it?
Well, who eats their gingerbread houses?
I do.
Terrific.
Terrific.
All of you do. While that's going, over here, let's talk about the actual dough. So what I said earlier, a lot of times we're building something, so we bake our gingerbread, we cut it out into shapes, and you're dealing with these slabs, right? So this is sort of, I would call these drywall sheets. That's very difficult to get to stand up, right? So my solution to that, and I think this is a lot, here we go. Look at that. In the time it took me to talk about that,
goodness,
we
look
have
at that.
royal icing.
That's crazy how
You
they
see?
just whipped up.
There we go. And this is the consistency I like. Some people like it a little thinner. You can add just a touch of water. But when your mixer is struggling, that's a good sign to stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to start smoking in them.
Yeah, it's going to start smoking. But you see this right here? Look at how thick that is.
Oh my goodness! And it
Perfect
happens
for
so
keeping bricks
quickly.
together.
Yeah.
Yes. And in fact, I'll say right now,
You can't eat while you're doing your own segment, okay?
why not? Is that a rule here?
Exactly.
It is a
I'm having a
rule.
hard time focusing.
Yeah.
So we're going to pipe this right along here, and you'll see how thick it is.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
This is so good, right? This is the best way to build it?
Yes, sir.
Could I construct my real house with this?
Well, you could.
Nice.
You could. But you remember the story of Hansel and Gretel?
Yes.
Remember who lived in the gingerbread house?
The witch.
The witch.
Yeah. So you might not want to follow that path.
Okay, great.
But you can see a lot of times when we don't use royal icing, we have to hold those pieces together for a long time. But look at this, I just put it on there. It's not sliding.
Voila.
Okay.
Oh
so
my
this-
God! And it happens so fast because usually I have to stand there with my
Yeah,
hands
gotta
on it for
hold it.
This is the
15
magic
minutes.
of using protein in your icing.
I
Now,
love that.
the next phase I was just about to talk about, when we roll out our dough, instead of cutting out pieces ahead of time and baking them, here's what I like to do. I roll it out onto a craft mat. Can you get a shot of this? This is what I use at home for art projects. It's got a grid on it. It's great for making perfect lines. Now I roll my dough out, line it up, and then all you have to do is cut it into bricks. Because what's the best structural engineering in a kid's toy? Can anyone think of this?
Triangle.
Triangle's a great shape, but Legos, right?
Lego.
Legos.
I just was gonna say that.
Legos are perfect. So when I cut these into bricks and I make them a little thicker and bake them off, now all of a sudden, instead of using these, what I would call drywall sheets, I have bricks to make a house. And we all know that a brick house stands up the strongest. The three little pigs on it,
Yeah.
right?
House.
Yep.
How does that song go?
And this is really fun.
House.
This is really fun
That's
for
a
kids
brick
because when you
house.
build it with bricks, they don't have to follow a plan. They actually can just build whatever they want. Just like Legos, you can do anything with this now. And I've built over here, I was saying earlier, I built a little grain silo. They were telling me it looks more like a wishing well. Is that what you said?
No, it looked like a fireplace.
A fireplace, okay. And I've got a little brick wall here. Now, the great thing about these bricks, if you find that your house is sliding down, again, simple structural engineering, build supports all along the corners, okay? You take these bricks and build that up. Now, if you find that your icing is not strong enough, if Royal Icing hasn't done it for you, I have one last simple trick for you. You see those little bears? Those little bears you have? Sure, you've got some on top of your house.
That's
yeah?
right, yes.
Here's what happens if you melt them into a big puddle. Melted gummy bears are the strongest.
Melted gummy bears?
Yeah.
You're mad.
Yeah,
That's
melted
not
gummy
right.
bears are the strongest glue for decorating a gingerbread house. This will dry because there's so much gelatin in it. As soon as it dries,
God, is that what I've been eating?
yeah,
Gelatin, yeah, honey.
yeah, it's great. It's,
Stop?
no,
No,
never,
why would
never,
you ever stop eating
never,
gummy bears?
never.
All right.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That works better than the.
Yes, so
That's good.
I used gummy bear goo for putting on the decorations.
Bear
Okay.
Yeah, I use this all over.
Speaking of, are we ready to show off our
Oh,
wow.
Ridiculous.
Apparently, Christina's been on
To speak.
medication. Look at that. Wow.
gosh.
You went to town,
how did
honey.
you do that so fast? Oh my gosh, Christina!
Christina, you can join this. You can join the special guild of gingerbread bakers. Yes, because
Letting it all hang out. Ow!
Perfect, right?
no.
Debbie.
That lady stack.
We're going to share on our Pinterest page this recipe and go to
at you, she's so cute, too.
renegadekitchen.com. I don't know why we lost the music. But we're going to sit down and chat with Deidre about the historic anniversary of Days of Our
fan.
Lives next. I need to get more